Okay, so let's take a different perspective from this. So let's come at this now on the seller's side. So the sellers listed their business, they're getting working with the broker, they're getting inquiries, getting to the point where now they've gone through a selection of LOIs or offers, that sort of stuff, and they've locked in. So we've got an LOI going. We're starting to move into that due diligence phase. What is some of the most commonly requested things? Like what should their checklist be like? What should they load that data room up with documentation wise from the get-go to save in this back and forth time that can string this out for sometimes forever in the due diligence process?
Yeah, good question. I think, again, with the of course the caveat that all are different, but I think in any situation you're going to want clean financials. Consistent financials would help too. I mean, I know in a lot of cases we're looking at growing companies that are new, that have such considerable and almost exponential growth. In some cases, it's hard to keep up with the financial side. That's often an afterthought. And you see that all the time, where finance and accounting and some of the bookkeeping is an afterthought. And it's understandable. Again, entrepreneurs are worried about selling their product, designing their product, all those sorts of things. But having a clean set of financials, having consistent financials, having something that yet a third party even prepares even better. But as long as you're able to take some time to have that clean set of data and clean set of financials is important. The consistency I touched on, but that is important too. It makes a buyer's life much easier if they can look at a set of financials. It's been prepared generally the same over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that is. That consistency and availability of nice, clean information is important. And it goes a long way. Beyond that, again, it can go a number of different ways. And as a seller, I think you can really identify where your risk areas are too, right? You'll likely know what you yourself consider risky. And of course, a buyer is going to consider that to be a risk as well, or, an asset of the business, or, a sales point. So where you have your own identified risks or your own identified opportunities, I would try to come up with support for all those items. Because again, buyers are smart. They know what you're trying to sell. They'll know where your risks are. So be prepared for that. Come up with some kind of support to justify whether that risk is reasonable, or why that risk was created, or why that opportunity was created and you just haven't addressed it yet. Come up with any way you can prepare ahead of time to support those ideas and those concepts. Oftentimes we hear about customer concentration being an issue, or supplier concentration being an issue, or just trends in margin being an issue. That, hey, why is your margin going down? What is wrong? What's happened with your pricing? What's happened with your product? Whether it's your product cost, whatever that might be. So as a seller, where the questions are going to be, and the more time you can spend preparing for those specific questions ahead of time, the better. The process is going to be easier for you because you've already got the answers to the questions that are coming. And again, you'll know where they're headed, so it'll just help you get there faster instead of having to kind of have them pull it out of you.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller?